Hello, welcome to my new show, You Throughout the Years. Here we will have conversations with ordinary persons like you and me. Everyone has a story, either good or bad, funny or sad. So come and reminisce with us as we find out how these years have shaped our lives. And we are here with a dynamic, beautiful, and comforting lady by the name of Marlene from Living Your Best Life on YouTube. Marlene, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much, Rochelle, for inviting me to be on your show. I'm Marlene of Living Your Best Life. I'm the content creator for 4 different channels. Um, I come from a big family. I'm the last of 10 children, and I live in Florida. Um, I don't know what else you want me to tell you, but
That is okay. We will learn up more about you as we go along. So, the first question that I always ask, when did you become aware of your surroundings, your parents, yourself? At what age?
I really don't know because I don't really remember. I think my first memories that I had was around 5 years old when I started kindergarten. So yeah, I do remember when my mom went with me and we went to the store to pick out my outfit for the first day of school. That's one of my first memories, I think.
Okay. So then you can remember your parents saying when you started to talk and walk?
I don't think my mom and dad ever told me when I started to talk and walk. What my parents have always told me that I was always the child that they always forgot was there because I've always been very quiet. So not much has changed.
Yeah, just being the last one, especially quiet. And yeah, she is really quiet. Very quiet. So I understand. So we are going to talk about a bit about your childhood, and that is ages from say 5 going to 11 and even 12. How was your childhood like?
Well, I would say, I had, good, really good parents, but the dynamic in my family, because it was so many people and it was like everybody was coming and going. So I kind of felt like I was lost in the shuffle in my family. It was like I had my older siblings, because my oldest siblings, 2 of them were already married and gone out of the house. So me being the youngest, it was me and I think 4 other siblings. So at that time, 5 of my siblings were already gone. And then it was the remainder 5 that I was raised with. For me, they were like my siblings, and the older ones are like my uncles and aunts because of the age difference.
Oh, okay. So there was a big age gap between you and your first and second siblings. You weren't easily fit in with them. So what did you do to fill that gap?
Um, I really don't remember that many things. It was kind of like always the same, like wake up, get ready for the day, go to school in the evenings, like because I grew up in a very religious family, so it was always centered around going to do things for worship and stuff like that. Um, and going to school, that was my life, and playing with my brother who was 4 years older than me. That's the one that till this day, I'm still the closest to him because we're 4 years apart in age. So, That
Yeah, I
was
can
usually
understand.
my day. Yeah.
So did you enjoy being a part of or having so many siblings?
No, I
Oh,
hated it.
okay, okay. But of course, now later in years, you are happy that you have all those siblings. Now we are moving out of your childhood
Mhm.
because, as you said, you were quiet. So we can't say that you was a handful or you was naughty and thing. You was just quiet.
Well, I didn't say that. I
Okay,
didn't say
I
that part.
assume.
I said I was quiet, but it was one of those things when you come from a big family, you're like guilty by association because it's
Mm,
like if they have to go, if your brother or sister has to go somewhere, they have to take you with them because you can't stay
mm.
by yourself. So I would get in trouble a lot of times because I had to go along with them while they did their badness. And
Oh,
then I get in trouble because I'm with them.
oh. Trouble by association.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, well, siblings are good and siblings are bad.
But when I got to be, I would think around 13 years old, that's when I started to really be bad on my own. Nothing to do with my brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are going into your early teens,
Uh-huh.
you left that childish mentality and you're
Mhm.
going into preteens, early teens, say up to 16. How easy was it to navigate your early teens or was it difficult?
I would say for me, it was very difficult because my oldest sibling, my closest sibling to me, my brother, he's a boy. So it's not like if he was a girl, I could go to him and say, this is going on with me, all of the emotional, mental, and physical changes that you're
Mm,
going through. I didn't feel like I didn't have anybody to talk to about it because I don't know if it's for you, but my parents did not believe in talking about anything,
mm.
any body changes, any development. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to talk about it. They keep everything to the bare minimum. So I think that kind of hurt me a little bit because I wasn't getting the advice that I needed to. Because when you're getting things from your classmates or books or TV, it's not always accurate information.
Yes, because everyone will always put in their own thoughts and feelings. So you
Mhm.
don't really get all the things that you need. In your early teens, did you find things that made you happy?
I don't know, but I've always, since I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, I've always been writing poetry. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that started around 7 to cope with things that I had going on in my head and within my family. And then it went all the way up until now. I'm still doing poetry, but I had a lot of repressed like anger, anxiety, all of that because I never had family members or even friends that I could communicate the things that I was going through. Because I grew up in the generation where kids were seen and not heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, you're a kid, you're there. Like, I think my parents thought if you're a child, you don't have problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that is a myth because children have so many problems from even day one,
Mhm.
because firstly they pick up the feelings from the mother, and if she wasn't happy or content through her pregnancy is going to the child. So then you will see a baby just being cranky. You don't know why, can't sleep properly, and then the child is growing up, and they're a tough child to handle. But sometimes it's not the child's fault. It's just they just take to on a lot before they were able or developed to deal with it. So yeah, back in the days, in the olden days, yes, a lot of things were bottled in your soul. Now we're moving from 16 and we're going up to 20.
Okay.
This is close to being an adult, but you're still a child and you're still going to have some childlike thinking and feeling. So how did you strip away the things of a child and coming and becoming a woman?
Well, I don't know how good I did because at 16 to 20, I still was a very angry teenager, young woman because of all the anger, because of all the feelings that I had bottled up inside. I don't know who knows this about me, but around that time, around 15, 16 years old, I started having an eating disorder, and I was anorexic. For me, it was one of those things that I could control. Like, I can't control what's going on at home. I can't control what's going on at school. So I said, I am not going to eat until I'm ready. So it was like a control thing for me. When I went to therapy and talked about it, that's what the conclusion that they came to. Because at home, you can't control what your family, your parents, other people do. And at school, the way that they were bothering me and bullying me, I can't control that. But I said, I don't have to eat if I don't want to.
How did that affect your thinking?
It really affected my thinking because I wasn't really aware, because you don't really look at yourself like to see how you were and how you are. So I guess at the beginning of ninth grade, high school, then my teacher saw me, and then within a few short months, I had lost a lot of weight. And I had a teacher that I love very much, and she's the one really that saved my life. Because after class one day, she said, Marlene, the day after, I want to talk to you. So she was like, what's going on? I was like, what do you mean? She said, everything okay at home? And, of course, you're like, yeah, like I'm going to tell you. And so she was like, what's going on? She said, I see you're losing a lot of weight. Are you okay? You sick? She's like, I'm just concerned about you. So it was like the first time in my life I felt that somebody asked me how I was doing, if I was okay. And I just let it all pour out and just said all the things that was going on with me, things in my family. She's like, oh boy. She's like, honey, you need to get some counseling. And that was the very first time that I was able to get counseling at school. And I got it without my parents' knowledge, because my parents would never have consented to that. Never.
Yeah. And we're happy for those teachers that look at their students and see that they are human, not just robots in a class, but they're children with feelings, and they really care. So we thank the Lord for teachers like that. You got your therapy in school. So did your attitude change at home, that to the point of your parents and even your siblings seeing a change in you?
Well, it was after, I want to say about a year of going to counseling, when like I don't feel like I had the anorexia problem anymore. And when we started getting into the real deep issues, like why are you eating that way? And then like going into the past, things that were happening in my family, things that happened to me, when she said, I think I'm going to have to bring your parents in. And oh boy, was that something, getting Caribbean parents to open up and talk about their feelings. It's not an easy task.
Yes, that don't I know it? Yes, it's so true, so true. But did they come and participate?
Well, in the beginning, the therapist wanted to see my parents singly, like first talk to my mom, then talk to my dad, then talk to them together. And then when they were okay together, then they brought in me because they said they didn't want it to be a hostile environment for me to feel attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a great idea.
Well, I'm so happy that they took they took it upon themselves to wanting to know more about you, what was bothering you, and want to learn tools to help you. And like so, we are thankful for our parents like that too, because a lot of persons or children do not have parents like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
They do not have anyone in their corner.
I will say that the only reason that my mom wanted to go is I talked about it in other videos on my channel. I think I did it on a live stream. But the only reason my mom started going is because one day they had a fire alarm or something was happening in the school and the fire alarm went off. And that was the day I was trying to commit suicide in the bathroom at school. And I feel personally that that was God who made that alarm go off because I had the knife to my neck, one of those switches. Yeah. So I was about to cut, and then I heard I was like, and then I heard everybody say, everybody outside, let's go, everybody outside. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that was it. After when they said we had to go outside, I just went home because I lived down the street from the school. So I just went home, and then when I got home and I told my mom about what happened and everything, I was trying to commit suicide. Then my mom was like, okay, I think I really need to go to this therapy because I think she thought it was me just being dramatic and that it wasn't as serious as it was.
So you're going through all of this. You're going into your 20s. 20s is a time of blooming. Now you got to get a job. You got to get a boyfriend or a husband, a career especially, and because dealing with the things in your past, how easy was it for you to deal with life and the world in your 20s?
Yeah. Well, I think after that situation, like my parents really put me in a box and would not let me do anything because they were afraid. Like they didn't know what I was going to do. So it was like, no, you don't have to work. No, you don't have to. So they kind of spoiled me, I guess you could say. So I didn't have to work. I think I didn't get my first job until I was 20, about to be 21 is when I got my first job. Like when I was in college, I was getting my first job. And I didn't like it. I think I only stayed there 6 months. And I was like, Dad, I don't like this. And he was like, then quit it.
Oh, that spoiled. Life was calling you again. So I can understand if it's being ingrained in you. Of course, you won't want to work.
Yeah, and especially since that was like the first time in my life, like I started to do things for me. Like I was enjoying life. I was going on road trips and like just traveling within my city, getting to know things, finding out who I was. So I feel like it was the first time in my life, like I was feeling happy. So I think my parents, maybe they noticed that and said, just leave her alone since she's happy now. Let her do what she wants.
Okay, so during this time, did you meet any special one?
No, well, there was always a few guys that I liked and stuff, but it was nothing that lasted. It was nothing that lasted.
That was just your whole 20s. So then you're going to go into your 30s, the years and the decade of knowing Marlene.
Mm-hmm.
The 30s as a female, especially, we are told we are supposed to know what we want,
Mm-hmm.
what we don't want, the type of job and career we want, if we want children or not, or even if we want to be married or not. What did Marlene do in her 30s?
Oh, Marlene was being a social butterfly. It was like the first time where it's like I was making choices on who was my friends. Um, I was like, I feel like all of the things that I didn't do in my childhood, I did in my 30s. Like that's when I was hanging out, you know, going places with friends. I was traveling, meeting people, real people who are my friends till this day, I found in my 30s.
Oh, okay. In your 30s, did you have to make tough or life altering decisions?
Well, I think all the way back from I was 14, I made major changes in my life, major decisions, because, being the last child, my sister, who is the middle child, she had her first child and, she was a single parent.
Okay.
So from 14 years old, I made the choice as an auntie to help my sister raise her kids.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anybody else's decision but mine because I don't know. I think I was always of that mindset. I don't want them to be with a babysitter. My nieces and nephews never went to a babysitter their whole lives. They were either with me or my sister or their grandparents or their mom.
Oh, okay. And that is a good attitude that you have, to always be a family that is needed and in need. So that is good. So you do not have any children of your own.
Well, it's a long story, but I had one child, but I miscarried.
That's,
So I still, even though the child didn't live, I still say I'm a mother because I still had a child. I still have a child according to God. So
yes.
yes.
And I always say that you had 30s of triumphs and failures, loss, and some gains, and it seems you really enjoyed your 30s. I'm very happy that you got to enjoy and experience it. So now we're going to go into 40s, where they say when you're in your 40s, you are living. You're now living. We're as women, 40s is a new 20s. Some people like to be more active in all areas of their life as a woman. I yet to reach my 40s, but if it's what they say, my husband is having more problems. How is the 40s going for you?
Okay. So I'm gonna go back a little bit. It was I think it was 36, 2016, whenever that was. 2016 was when my life completely changed because that's when my dad passed away.
Oh,
So that was like I don't know, it was like a whole, you're living a whole different life. It's like your whole life, you had your life this way and then everything just shatters.
yeah.
So when my dad passed away, my dad was and is my best friend. So it was like, I don't know, I did not do well when my dad passed away. I know some people are closer to their mom, some people are closer to their dad. And while I lost, and then what was worse than that was I lost my dad in October of 2016, and then 7 months later, my mom died.
Oh,
So it was like bam and bam. So before I could even recover, there goes my dad. My mom is gone now too. Then 5 months after that, my aunt dies. Then 7 months after that, my aunt's husband dies. And then just last year, my brother dies. So it was just like die, 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 before I could, from
yeah.
36 until last year.
Firstly, I'm very sorry about that because that is just the other day. Your father, your mother, all your is just other day. So you're still grieving. Again, my condolences. Um, with all this death around you, were you afraid that you might step back to being depressed
Well,
or you don't being quiet?
well, I can say, like, when my dad passed away, I went through a deep depression. Um, and it was my sister, because I think that's when I had my first apartment. I think that was my first apartment by myself. And I remember my sister, because she had a key to my apartment, because I wasn't answering the phone. Like, I cut off all communication. I quit my job. I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't going out the house. Um, I was in a deep depression, and my sister just came in the house, and she was like, "This is enough of this," and opened the windows and said, "Get up and you need to take a shower, and we're going out." She didn't take any mess from me. She didn't want to hear what I had to say, and I think that's when everything like switched for me, because I was just licking my wounds, feeling sorry for myself. And she says, "I know." She says, "I miss dad too, but you can't, like, isolate yourself and stay in bed and cry all day." She's like, "This isn't gonna work." So my sister was pivotal in me being alive right now, because I think it was 5 weeks. I quit my job and I just stayed in the house. I didn't go anywhere. I don't even really remember eating much. It's whatever I had in the fridge or the house, I guess. I don't really remember, like, that memory is kind of fuzzy, but yeah, that's what I was going through. So my sister is the one that helped me through that. And she's the one that helped me to get another job. She's like, "We're going to get you a job. We're going to get you back together." And yeah, that
Well,
was that.
thank God for siblings. How old are you now? If
Hey,
you want to share.
it's okay. I'll share. I'm 42.
Okay, and you can see a beautiful 42, but she don't look like 42. Did anything happen in your life that was happy, that was bringing you joy? Yes, you said that you were not looking at the male species, but did you decide, okay, it's time to meet someone?
I have for here and there, but I think right now I'm just focused on myself and getting myself together, because I believe it's important before you get in a relationship with another person. You need to be okay first, because I always said, when I bring something to the table, I want to have substance. I want to say I'm this type of person. I don't want to take out all my issues from the past and the grieving on who I'm with, because that's not his problem. It is my issue that I have to handle. I have to learn how to cope with things for myself, because I think it's important when you become a wife that I can stand on my own, and this is what I will be able to offer to my husband.
Yeah, wonderful. That is the most important thing for a woman or a man, to know their self and know what they're going to bring to a marriage, especially. So that is very good. So now we're going to break and we're going to start again. Now I know you, Marlene, love anything with feelings, with the brain, like a counselor. She's like a counselor, right? So this game, I'm just asking you some questions, but this is a game of the brain and your thoughts. So number one, what's your favorite season and why?
I love the spring, Rochelle, because for me, the spring is a time for rejuvenation, renewal. So, whatever it is that happened to you in the other seasons, it's your time to renew yourself and make yourself new and don't bring it into the future.
Okay, that's a good answer. For me, well, you know, in the Caribbean, we have one season,
Yes.
sun. I'm tired of the sun. I like the season of winter. I love to be cold. Um, Even to the point that I used to bathe with water from the fridge. I just, yeah. I don't like warm water. I don't like um, hot water. I used to love cold water, so I had to take the water out of the fridge and bathe. But now after the straw, I can't do that anymore. But I love winter. Number two, if there was a movie made about your life, who would play you?
Oh, who would play me? Um, I always like the actress Alfie Woodard. I think Woodard or
Oh,
Woodend.
yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
Okay. And that is true. You have a lot something like her. That is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I I'm not really a movie person, but that lady from Al, Ali Mac Macbeth, Ali, think that's the name. Her name is Lorraine Toussaint. She looks just exactly like me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she looks exactly like me, but she can act in any part. Given her, and I can always feel her presence and her strength when she is acting. So and I was like that because I used to act always around Barbados, and at one point I wanted to be a actress, but I give that up. But yeah, Lorraine Toussaint. Okay, number three. What's your favorite movie or book?
Um, Favorite movie. I like the movie Down in the Delta with Maya Angelou, Alfie Woodard. I don't remember the other actor's name, but that's my favorite movie because it's like set in like down south and the story of a mother getting older and she has Alzheimer's or dementia and how the family took care of her. So it's very interesting.
Mm, yeah, that sounds interesting for me. If I could read properly, I was I would like to read that. Okay, that sounds good. Years ago, my favorite book, I won't say movie, book was anything from Stephen King. Anything because I love horror. I used to love horror. So anything by Stephen King and Dean Koontz, I am reading. And because I love their way of taking simple things and everyday things and just make a whole horror
Okay.
about it. I remember of one story when Stephen King wrote a story about a finger, and a finger used to pop up in any part of this apartment, and it just drove this man crazy. And I love that story. But I came I came away from horror because really the Lord do not want his followers to be doing anything but horror and everything. So it took me a long time, but I'm off of anything horror. And I'm reading the best book in the whole world. It have everything you need. Suspense, mystery, love or romance, anything, and that is the Bible. The Bible is so exciting. I did not even know that. What's your favorite smell?
My favorite smell. That's an interesting one. I think my favorite is I love Saturday or Sunday morning when breakfast is cooking. I think that's my favorite, especially if it's something like French toast and you can smell the cinnamon and the bread, and I don't know. That to me it's like it just smells like home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturday, Sunday, you're home. You're not at school.
Yeah.
You're not at work sometimes. So you're just lazying about and just waiting on breakfast. That is true. My favorite smell will have to be the smell of pizza.
Really?
And is not to eat it, It's just for the first time that I can remember smelling pizza. Is always I tie it with happy times. That someone is getting a pizza to eat and enjoy, and whenever you eat a pizza, somebody is smiling. So I always want to smell a pizza even though I'm not eating it, but it's just happiness for me. Is number 6. If you were an ice cream, what flavor you will be?
Oh, that's easy. My favorite is cookies and cream.
Yeah.
I think I know yours.
Really? Or tell me why cookie and cream for you.
Oh, cookie and cream. I don't know. It's just something nostalgic about childhood because I'll tell you, my parents, having a big family, getting cookies and cream was expensive. What my mom used to do is buy vanilla, and she would buy Oreo cookies and smash it up and stir it in because that's cheaper to buy one package of Oreos and then just put a little in to each vanilla ice cream box than to keep buying cookies and cream, cookies and cream.
Did that even taste better than actually?
Yeah.
Yes, I can think
it
so.
tastes better because I think my mom used to give us more than what they would give you if you bought the one in the store. Yeah.
Okay, so what type do you think?
I think, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that you love butter pecan.
No.
No? Oh.
I only eat almond.
Almond.
Oh. And that's the only ice cream. That's the only ice cream that I would eat from a little child to an adult. Okay. Only because I love nuts.
Okay.
Love. I love almonds. So that is the only ice cream.
I think that's why I said butter pecan, because I heard before that you said you like nuts, so I just
Yeah,
assumed it was butter pecan.
yeah. No. What is your favorite color?
Hmm, that's because I go in between three colors,
Hmm.
so I don't know. It depends on my mood, but I think my number one favorite color is turquoise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it reminds me of the beach. So I think turquoise would be my favorite. But after that, I love purple. After that, and then after that, of course, another blue. I like that electric blue, like
Yeah.
cobalt blue. Yeah, those are my three favorite.
Okay. And you're like me. I go between three,
Yeah.
two, but green.
Oh yeah.
Green is outstanding for me. It shows you renewal,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I am just imagining
Mm-hmm.
going to Switzerland and just
Ooh.
running on their hills. And then my next one is purple.
Mm-hmm.
I love purple and black.
Really?
I love black. I love black. I don't like to wear it, but I love art that
Oh, okay.
that that use black because I found that the color black can tell you a story in a painting or a drawing
Mm-hmm.
more than different colors,
Yes.
right? So I love black. This is your last question.
Okay.
Did you have any imaginary friends as a child?
I don't remember having a imaginary child. I do remember sitting in the closet for most of my childhood playing with my all my dolls and having full, day, what they were doing. I used to write it down in a notebook that they're going to play. It's a pool party. So I do remember that part, but I don't remember having an imaginary.
Well,
No, I
me,
don't think I did.
well, for me, no. Um, Nobody had no time
No,
to,
no.
especially in the Caribbean.
Mm-mm.
No, you don't have no any
No. Mm-mm.
imaginary friends. You know, go outside and play.
Yes.
Play with your siblings or the children around the place. You don't have no time to have imaginary friends. Remember, if you would like to have your product or services promoted on the show, email us at survivor@gmail.com. We have different packages to suit your needs. Marlene, now we are going to turn a bit and ask you about your most embarrassing or one of your embarrassing moments.
One of my embarrassing moments. I don't know. I've had so many. Um, trying to think of one. Um, I think one of them was when I was younger. Me and my brother, we used to go to the pool, and you know how you have your bathing suit, and I jumped into the pool, and then when I came up, my top came off,
Oh, well,
and it was one of those things. I just went back under the water.
so how did you get out or get your top?
I don't know. It was just embarrassing. I just went under the water because it had floated away, and I didn't know when I was under the water. I guess it wasn't one of those bathing suit tops that ties in the back, and I
Mm-hmm.
guess it came
Oh,
unknotted, and I didn't know. And then I just came up and showed all my business.
Wow.
And I remember my brother's eyes like, what are you doing, girl?
Yeah, because they'd be like, what is my sister doing? Yeah, so how did you get out?
I don't really remember. I just remember just floating off and staying by myself a little while and putting it back on and fixing myself and keep on swimming.
Oh, yeah, very embarrassing. Yeah,
Very
especially
embarrassing.
around your siblings. Yes, that is very embarrassing. Can you tell us about your YouTube channels? Because this lady do not know how to stop.
Well, okay. So right now I have 5 channels. Okay. So my first channel is this channel, Living Your Best Life, and this is my channel for motivation, positivity, encouragement, story times, travel vlogs. My second channel just got monetized. She reviews everything. That's when I review over their products, services, even channel reviews. My third channel, Just Relax Now, is my beach, water, and rain sounds channel, which is doing very well. It just got over 400 subscribers over there. I got a little over 1,000 watch hours. So Just Relax Now is coming along. Number 4 is Marlene Reviews. And I'm thinking about doing a name change over there because since I have She Reviews Everything, now I think Marlene Reviews is kind of redundant. So I'm working on a name change, but over there I do like collaborations with Advertising Junction. We usually talk about useful information because we're the information girls together.
Yeah.
And we find information that we think is useful that you want to teach other people things that people may not know about. We talked about freezing your eggs. We've talked about loyalty and respect, courage, baby names. So it's many different topics that you can enjoy on that channel.
And it's really good because I've learned a lot from that channel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
my baby, I have 8 subscribers. I just started it last week. And it is Marlene Renovates and Decorates. So I got the idea from you, Rochelle. I got it from you.
Wow, really?
Yes. Because when I was in Beverly Black's live stream, and you're like, Marlene, that's a lot of content. You need to be showing your renovation. And I was like, renovation. And that's when it came to me. Marlene Renovates and Decorates.
Right. Yeah. I'm so happy. If I could clap, I would clap, but I would do it. Yes, I'm excited to see that channel, especially.
Yep. Over there, I'm going to be sharing all of my what it is like to be a homeowner now, all the things that I processed that I went to get the home, and I wish I had started it a year ago when I was just getting into it, so you guys could have saw. I mean, it was a wreck because this home was my mom and dad's rental property. So of course, my parents being older, they were able to take care of it maybe like they should have. They did the best that they could, but now it's my job to do it for myself.
Yes, so she's going to document it, and you're going to enjoy and follow her along the journey. So all of her information will be in the description below. So go and subscribe to all of her channels.
5.
S. So we come to the end, but what advice would you tell persons who are feeling lost, a bit lost or alone, and they could easily fall into depression? What can you say to them, and encourage them?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to start off by telling them that it's okay. I feel like for a long time with my depression, I felt like it was something abnormal because as human beings, we're kind of taught that we have to be strong. Like it's not okay to cry when it is. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad, angry. It's okay to have all your feelings, but in a healthy way. Talk to somebody that you trust. Get that anger and pain out. Journal. Get some exercise. Join a support group. Talk to a trusted friend. Pray about it, but it's important to not bottle it in because that's what causes that depression and that sadness. Well, if it's a medical issue, you may need to see a doctor. But if it's something that you just went through and you just are in a sad state, there are healthy things that you can do. But the most important is to get out of the house and have a normal life. Give yourself a schedule and stick to it. And that will help you to transition out of those hard times. And I learned also to be patient with yourself, that whatever you're going through, no two people are alike. What one person goes through is not going to be the same for you. So don't compare yourself to another person. It's okay to just stand in your truth, be yourself, work through the situation, and pray about it. Pray about it and ask God to cover you and to deliver you from the situation where you may not be able to in your physical body, but He can help you through the spirit.
Yes. Amen. Wonderful voice. And yes, I will always promote God. He's there to listen to you. And He has given persons the knowledge to be a therapist, a counselor, friend who can understand and support you. So, Marlene, my very wonderful friend, I'm so happy you agreed to be on this show. Finding your voice and you're enjoying it and you're living your best life. Thank you again.
Thank you, Rochelle.
And thank you for tuning in to another episode of You Throughout the Years. Until we see each other again. Bye-bye.